What's going on here in my kitchen? And I decided to do this short video about what do I actually eat on this ketogenic diet. Most people think that it's very difficult to stay keto because there is a lot of restrictions on the diet, but in my opinion that positive restriction actually gives you a lot of more freedom. You don't have to think about so many of the variety of things you could potentially consume because the choice is quite limited, and you can gain all of the essential nutrients and vitamins and minerals. First off, let's start off with probably the most important macronutrient for the ketogenic diet, which are carbohydrates. Okay, you have to keep your carbs low for your body to enter ketosis. Some people need less, some people more, but in general, the lower your carbohydrate intake, the faster you'll get into ketosis. And of course, you can't do it by eating some potatoes, rice, candies, fruit, bread, all those sugary drinks or other sweets, because you're gonna get kicked out of ketosis. You're gonna still maintain this sugar burning engine.
Potatoes.
Instead, what you can eat are some healthy fibrous vegetables. Most primarily stuff like cabbage, kale, spinach. My favorite one is actually this regular green cabbage because it's very nutrient dense in terms of the fiber. It has a lot of vitamins, and it's also a rich source of potassium. Other similar sources are cruciferous vegetables, like this cauliflower here. I've already eaten some of it, half of it is almost gone. Cauliflower is an amazing ingredient for the ketogenic diet because it has a lot of variety. You can use it for almost any other thing. You can just eat it maybe raw, you can cook it, you can use it to create cauliflower pizza. You know, it sounds impossible, but you can eat pizza on the ketogenic diet as well if you use cauliflower as a crust. But you can also use cauliflower for cauliflower rice, cauliflower pudding, or I don't know, whatever your imagination can allow you to come up with.
Everything.
Another similar vegetable is broccoli. Broccoli is also super healthy. It's I would consider broccoli being one of the superfoods that you should eat every day. It has anti-cancer properties and it tastes amazing as well. That's broccoli. And you can see someone has been eating it as well. Guess who it is? What else? In addition to vegetables, maybe cucumbers if you'd like. Cucumbers, they're not that nutrient dense because basically they're just water and maybe a little bit fiber, but they can be a great addition to some of your salads, some of your other foods, and they taste great as well. Tomato. But the thing with tomatoes and similar vegetables is that they have a lot of lectins. Lectins are these protective proteins inside the plants that are supposed to protect the plants from being eaten. The problem is that if you consume too many lectins, then you may get some gastrointestinal stress and you may suffer some brain fog because of that as well. So I do eat some tomatoes and such, but I don't want to overconsume them either because it's gonna make me feel maybe bloated. It's gonna hinder my thinking. Let's talk about protein now. Protein is an essential macronutrient that you need for survival. You don't need carbs, but you do need protein and you need fat. And my main source of protein on the ketogenic diet are eggs. There are some eggs in this box full of essential amino acids rich in choline, omega-3s, DHA, EPA, which are all very good for your brain, for your cellular metabolism, for maintaining healthy cholesterol levels and all that good stuff. And they also taste amazing. I love eggs. But probably the second best source of protein after eggs is wild-caught oily fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, they're also rich in omega-3s, DHA and EPA.
I didn't want salmon! I said it 4 times!
One pro tip that I'm going to share with you today is to cook some fish broth. You might have heard about the bone broth where you cook up all the joints and ligaments of animal bones, but fish broth is next level because you can get all the electrolytes, you can get some sodium in it, but you also get all the omega-3s, which is gonna be very good for your brain. At the moment I have some fish broth cooked up already. And basically what you do is you get the fish heads, you get the fish bones, the fish ribs, all those things that are usually thrown out, that are usually not used that frequently in cuisine, and you put it on a low to medium heat on the stove for a few hours. You add some salt, you have maybe some other spices, and it's gonna taste amazing. But of course, meat is also a great source of protein. Minced meat, some beef or some wild boar. Of course, there's also some bacon and eggs, that's a staple.
Bacon.
I don't tend to eat that much bacon because I prefer to get my protein from eggs and fish because they're a lot more healthier. You don't want to eat too much meat either because, you know, it may have some negative effects on your health and longevity. And if you talked about fish broth, then one thing people also tend to neglect are organ meats. Stuff like liver, kidneys, heart. Those things are packed with nutrients more so than the flesh. These are some pork hearts. Moving on with the fats that are going to be your main source of energy. Avocado, fattiest fruit in the world. Pumpkin seeds, great for magnesium. Sesame seeds. I also eat some chia seeds for some more omega-3s. So do you want some more nuts? Of course. Some walnuts, some almonds, coconut flakes, some more fish, cold fillet, delicious. You can do eat some cheese when you're on keto, but I don't want to overdo it either, like with the lectins, because cheese may promote the production of IGF-1, which is like this huge anabolic hormone that's, you know, needed for muscle building and needed for growth. But it's the same like with meat. If you eat too much protein, then you're gonna overstimulate mTOR. mTOR is the most important fuel sensor in your body. It's gonna trigger your cells to grow, but at the same time it's also gonna speed up aging, and it can also promote the growth of cancers and tumors. So you never want to eat too much protein or too much meat or too much dairy because they're gonna overstimulate mTOR and IGF-1. Okay, and of course butter. Great source of vitamin K. Do I drink bulletproof coffee? No, I don't drink bulletproof coffee because I just don't want to, you know, I don't feel the need to cram so many calories into a cup of coffee. I would much rather drink it just black. Is there anything wrong about drinking bulletproof coffee? Well, that depends on why you're doing it and, you know, to what extent you're doing it as well. If you're using bulletproof coffee just to, you know, stave off some hunger while you're doing intermittent fasting, then it's mostly okay as long as you still eat fewer calories. But if you're doing it because you think it's gonna make you burn some more fat or, you know, give your brain some this superpower energy, then you're wrong. Of course it's gonna give you some energy, but it's not some superpower hack. Sour cream, which is great. It has some probiotic properties like sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is also one of my staples, which I try to consume basically every day to keep the gut healthy. Olive oil full of polyphenols and monounsaturated fats, which is great for cardiovascular health. You definitely want to get olive oil in a dark bottle because if it gets exposed to too much sunlight or too much heat, then it's gonna go rancid. The son of a bitch is gonna go rancid, and it can cause more inflammation when you consume it. Well, basically it's not gonna cause any oxidative stress if you use it as cold, but if you heat it up, then it can become, you know, too dangerous. So be very wise with how you heat and how you use different fat sources.
Called bacon.
Even though you can't be consuming a lot of fruit on keto, some fruit is okay in the form of maybe lemons and berries. Lemons are great. What I usually do is have some apple cider vinegar and some lemon juice mixed together in hot water before I eat anything. It's gonna get the bowels moving and it's gonna prepare me for digesting food. And it's going to help me to absorb the micronutrients and the macronutrients that I'm going to be getting from food. One key ingredient that I think you should definitely add to your ketogenic diet is pink Himalayan sea salt. It's great for balancing your electrolytes, getting some more magnesium and other micronutrients. Sometimes I also use some coconut oil, but at the moment I'm running low. And consuming some berries is amazing for getting some more micronutrients. You can see I have frozen all kinds of berries: raspberries, blueberries, cherries, strawberries, blackberries, whatever. But it's very simple on the ketogenic diet. You don't have to think about a lot of things, you know, what could I potentially eat? And you can get all your essential nutrients from these foods, like this cabbage here. Wilson! Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you click the like, subscribe for more similar videos. Thanks for watching. My name is Seem. Stay ketogenic, stay empowered.